It's been over 3 months since I last updated the tier list, and there's been many changes, whether that's just due to balance changes or just my opinion shifting in general. There's a lot of new things to talk about, so let's talk about it. My tier list is going to be 5 tiers long. Within the tiers, it's ordered, but if you think one character in S tier is above another character in S tier, I'm not really complaining too much. Generally, it's the tier gap that makes the difference for me. And also, I won't be doing lettering for the tiers. What people consider a C tier character might be considered trash or really good to someone else. So instead of like S, A, B, C, D, from the top, I went with top tier, elite, strong, playable, and unplayable. Those are my 5 tiers. Now let's get started. Right away, I'm just going to show off the first 2 tiers. This is my top 6 right now. At the top tier, we have Choso, Mekamaru, Megami, and then in the elite tier, we have Meme, Ryu, and Haruta. I don't really think I need to talk about the top tier at all. You guys know how strong these 3 characters are. Choso Supernova is still invalidating most of the game. Aerial Flowing Red Scale has only risen in value for me. I don't like playing too passive myself, but you can really camp in that orb if you want to. And the majority of characters in this game just can't deal with that. His combo damage is still incredible. His evasive bait has always been good. If you know how to play this character correctly, once you get your orbs, this character feels like he has no weaknesses. And so of course, he's gonna be top tier for me. Moving on to new mecha, it's a very similar story to Choso, just that Mekamaru kind of trades that focus on neutral for more focus on combos. And for Mekamaru, it really works because his offload mechanic is really strong. There is a ton of text from these dedicated Mekamaru players that actually looks like magic to me. And Mekamaru's combo damage, it's very absurd. It feels like everything combos into everything, out of anything, with no cooldowns. For the final top tier slot, we have Megami. Again, very similar to Mekamaru. Megami's combos are more overwhelming than his neutral, though if he really wishes for it, he can sacrifice some of his combo damage to focus a little more on neutral, but I don't know, it doesn't really matter. If you just play like ultra passive, Megami is extremely powerful. Within that movement, our special is Rapid Escape and Divine Dog, as well as having essentially Locust type evasive bait. I don't see anybody talk about this regarding Megami, but his combos are so incredibly safe. If you know what you're doing with Megami, he absolutely has evasive bait on the level of Locust. Megami is another character along with Mekamaru who I think has a really high skill ceiling. You'll see what these better Megamis can do and it's like, what is even happening? Megami has a 66% combo that's damn near inescapable. He restricts your evasive use within Nue and within Toad. His combo damage overall is incredibly high. He's just incredibly strong. I'm sure nobody is surprised to see him in this top tier. This whole top tier in general has been like this for the past how long? It feels like this top 3 is set in stone. Moving on to the next tier, we have the elite tier. This tier comprises of Meme, Ryu, and Haruta. Starting off very strong with Meme. I honestly think, assuming she doesn't get like giga nerfed, there's gonna be real argument for putting Meme in the S tier. You know how I talked about Choso having no apparent weaknesses? He has great combos, great neutral. His aerial flowing red helps him so much on the defensive end. He's got great range within his supernova. His cooldowns are non-existent, and his R special is great for just giving you access to orbs. Choso has like no weaknesses, but he does have places that he's not like the best at. He's got like an S plus in neutral, an S minus in combos, an A in evasive bait, but his movement ability, he's like a C in there. He has no ways to really mix up people safely. His M1s are punishable too. This and that, basically I'm saying Choso's not the best at every single thing. But then you take a look at Meme, go ahead and tell me, what does this character not have available to her? She has the combo damage, she has the evasive bait, she has the movement, she has the mix-up options, she has the neutral, the unpunishable M1s, the true combos. For Meme, her stats sheet is looking like an A across the board. She has no weakness. She's a jack of all trades, master of all of them. If you want to play Meme like an M1 merchant right now, she's especially good at it right now because she has access to some of the most powerful M1 resets. But in this list, if I'm going to be honest, I'm not even considering the M1 resets. The only M1 reset that I actually do is the aerial circling M1 reset. That's not even required. I do it because it's fun and it's going to be removed soon. But if Meme didn't have that M1 reset, is she suddenly going to drop below Ryu, below Haruta, a whole tier? I don't think so. People right now are thinking that these M1 resets are defining Meme. She's on the verge of S tier, not even thinking about them, not even factoring them in. She is so elite right now, and assuming she doesn't get nuked next update, I really would not be surprised if she eventually gets moved up into S tier. She is that good. Next up is Ryu. Again, unsurprising, uncontroversial. He's got solid neutral, he's got great damage. If you manage your overheat well, he's very strong. We all know how strong Ryu is. We don't need to talk about him more. Next is Haruta. It's the same story for him. It's not very surprising that he's up here. HP nerf really didn't move my opinion on him, though the changes to revival miracles are so fake. That shit hasn't helped me once. It does nothing. I've never even seen it proc in a real match. What is actually a major change though, switching the binds for taunting and dodging this late into the game, the muscle memory change, oh my god, I didn't expect it to be this drastic. And not just the muscle memory change, I also walk back what I said before in that Haruta guide. Being able to use R with your left hand and then click with your right hand to dodge something is so much more efficient and so much easier to use than having to press both R and F with your left hand. In concept, what I was saying in that Haruta guide was correct. It is easier and more intuitive to go from a defensive option which is sword on to then going on to a defensive option which is sword off. But in practice, when you're reacting to someone using a move on you, when you're in sword on and you're playing a regular character, all you have to do is just press F. But when you're Haruta, you have to press R and then F in order to dodge something. This is very inefficient. Compared to before where you press R and then click with your right hand, it's not even close. Using the mouse is way better. So yeah, I'm taking back what I said before about the keybinds in my Haruta video. I definitely regret saying that. I'm also taking back what I said ambush is not worth using. I've personally started adopting a mainly sword on type of Haruta playstyle. And this ambush move, I gotta talk about this in a later video. But yeah, Haruta is still an elite character, no surprise there. Let's move on to the strong tier. This tier is comprised of, from left to right, Gojo, Locust, Yuki, Hanami, and Charles. I think a lot of people have accepted that Gojo is a pretty strong character, so I won't really harp on him too much. Gojo's damage is kind of crazy though. Like once you get that evasive bait off, his damage gets really high. And that teleport can give you some value in neutral. I really used to hate on this character, but he's not that bad at all. More interestingly though, is the character next to him, Locust Guy. In my last tier list, I had this guy bottom 1, which is kind of crazy in hindsight. But for me, what really changed my opinion about this character was me reevaluating how I saw these M1 merchant characters. Locust just doesn't have to think. He has unpunishable M1s, unpunishable combos, he has pretty solid true damage, and that's it. That's all he really needs. He has 0 neutral, his movement isn't really that good, all he has are his M1s and his unpunishable combos. But that's a ton of value from just those two aspects. So like, upon facing Locust a little bit, can I really put Locust below some of these guys? Like, am I putting Locust below Hikari, below Mahito? These guys that play just like Locust, but they just don't have the safety of him. And they're not Gojo either, where they have really high damage. Nah, they're just unsafe. So I really just can't put Locust below these guys. I can't shame the consistency of having unpunishable M1s, unpunishable evasive bait, and just decent damage. I can't really hate on that. I do have Gojo above him though, because there becomes a point with evasive bait where you get like diminishing returns on it. Like, we can all agree that Locust has the best evasive bait in the game, but a character above him on the tier list, let's say Mei, her evasive bait is good enough to where she can then focus on other aspects of her character. Like once you get to a certain level of strength within your evasive baiting, you don't really need to evasive bait better than what you already have. Does that make sense? Basically, Locust evasive bait, it's great and all, but it's kind of excessive, where other characters would have a little bit less on the evasive bait, but put those strengths and aspects where like the character needs it more. He has like a triple S rating in evasive baiting when you really only need an A+ to get by. And in my opinion, Gojo does have like a good enough level of safety to where his other aspects of his character and his teleport and his damage, these kind of allow me to put him above Locust. Next up is Yuki. I'm gonna do a whole video on Yuki. This character, I've said it before, she feels like a potential character. She's the Smash Bros ultimate ice climbers of this game. Infinite, untapped potential that seemingly nobody's able to see or replicate. Insane 1,000,000% true combos you just don't see in ranked. At some point, we gotta just accept this character is not what she was before the ragdoll changes. I'll expand more on this take in another video, but like this character, I'm just not impressed. Even her 4R, I'm just not impressed by that. It's not enough to make up for the fact that she has no valuable neutral. Again, I could talk more, but I'll save it for another future video. Next up on the list is Hanami. This is a crazy fall from grace. This character really used to be S tier next to Choso, Megamaru, and Megami. But right now, this character does no damage. She lost all her true combos, and all her moves are so committal. If you stick to the Hanami player like you stay in melee range, her only having 1 M1 really hurts her. You can still jump over a 1 as well, making it an extremely free punish. She's still decent though. Like, she has some usability. She's just nowhere near as good as she was before, and you can really tell whenever you're fighting a Hanami player, their damage is just so low. I still think she's in this tier though. Next up is Charles. This is another character that came from the bottom of my last tier list. He's definitely way better than I gave him credit for, and I know a lot of people in the community are hyping him up right now, but like, personally, this character is not that insane. Like, he can definitely do some stuff, but I feel like a lot of people don't know how to fight against him. Like, people tout Shut Up as being this like incredible evasive bait that just can't be punished. It's a pretty strong tool, don't get me wrong. It's a pretty decent tool, but it's not a guaranteed evasive bait. You can wait for a while and then evasive. This takes the move from being like a guaranteed evasive bait into being like a 50-50. It's very reminiscent of old Jujutsu's Veil Step 50-50, making it not this god tier evasive bait that people make it out to be. Another thing is, you can just jump over aerial Shut Up. You can jump over it the same way you can jump over Mahito's aerial stockpile. And so once you learn that, the move kind of loses so much of its scariness. There's other things too, like making sure you're facing the opponent directly when you're neutral, because otherwise, their R special will take you directly to them, giving them an easier angle to play a guessing game with you with their side dash M1. Like, I'm saying these things, but I don't want to say Charles is a bad character. It's just that if you don't know the matchup versus Charles, you don't know how to play the matchup, it's not really a surprise that it can feel impossible to fight him. Which is why I'm not really shocked that I'm seeing people gas him up so much recently. But for me personally, he just doesn't go above this tier. He definitely doesn't go below though, because in the playable tier, we have Yuta, Mahito, Hikari, Kuro, Nanami, Higi, Yuji, and Naoya, and Todo as well. This is a massive tier, and honestly, it's because I don't see much of a difference between these characters. They're all just so unimpressive that I just can't really care for them. They're still usable, which is why the name of their tier is playable, but they're not really good. Like with Yuta here, the first character on the tier, even though he's the best, he has such glaring weaknesses that the characters above him just don't share. Super high end lag on certain moves, extremely low damage, like pathetically low damage. His neutral is definitely serviceable, but his cooldowns are so high in conjunction with his low damage, you kind of just don't want to use his moves in neutral. Yuta is just not that impressive meta-wise post-rework. Hopefully some buffs will change that for him, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not very confident. Next up is Mahito. At this point, my opinion on Mahito is kind of settled. He just feels like he's in a terrible spot right now. He does like no damage. His evasive bait is really weak, and it really feels like there's not much to him. Mahito, along with Yuki, is another character where I feel like them being so strong before the evasive changes makes people think that they're still strong post-evasive changes. And after a slew of balance changes, especially towards Mahito, he's just nowhere near where he used to be. And just compare him to the characters above him. Is he even remotely better than any of them? I can't say yes to that. So he's down here at the lower end of the tier list. Next up is Akari. He lost his 1+2 M1 reset. He lost what made him so good before. He can still do good damage and whatnot, but like having 1+2 and having the opponent bounce on the doors or whatever, having them bounce on the doors is so much more unsafe for the Akari player. Because at any moment, they can just evasive and hit you. There's not much to say, Akari's just not that good no more. Next up is Kuro, and oh my god, the nerfs for this character. Pre-nerf Kuro, I actually thought was top 4 in the game. If she still existed in that iteration, she'd be above Ryu, below Mei in this tier list. But they just killed her injury gains so much. She barely does any damage at all whatsoever. The only real way to get these major hatches off is with your detach, and that's your only way to get them. Her damage is some of the lowest in the game at this point. I think it's probably the lowest. You could honestly move her way lower than I have her right now. This whole playable tier, honestly, just organize it however you want to. They're all mediocre anyway. Comparing which mid is less mid, it doesn't even matter. Choso just destroys all of them anyway. In fact, let's just go to the next 4. Nanami, Higi, Yuji, Naoya. Nanami's interruption gimmick is useless against a passive opponent. Reverse kick is way too slow to do anything. His 4 is also too slow and also too stubby as well to do anything. He doesn't get any real safe follow-ups off of any ratio moves. His blunt cut is like neutral on hit or something. Until they get some buffs, he's a waste character, just useless. I'm actually just gonna skip over Higi because I don't know how to play him. And the fact that after his nerfs, I haven't seen a single Higuruma. I'm not lying to you. I haven't seen one Higuruma player, not one. And I have 3 accounts over like 120 elo. Every Higuruma player has just gone extinct. So for me, since I don't play the character, I'm just going off a word of mouth. And yeah, people are saying he's terrible. He looks terrible too. Moving on, we have Yuji. Black Flash is punishable on hit. He has low damage combos. The only good thing that he actually has is his feint for movement, but that's really it. Nobody's actually scared of Yuji in June of 2026. Nobody actually has him high tier anymore. The last 2 characters to gloss over are Naoya and Todo. Naoya has low damage, he has no neutral. His only good thing, his only good asset is his double dashes. Plus he got nerfed again recently and I didn't even think it was good before. Whatever bro, nobody actually cares about this character. The last character we have on the tier list is Todo. I actually went back and forth with myself, thinking like, maybe I should put an unplayable tier below the playable tier because that's how bad I think Todo is. He has no neutral, he has terrible evasive bait, he does barely any damage anymore. Boogie Woogie has not once ever in Todo's lifespan been a player in these matches. I've always called it a fake special for almost a year at this point. It's been a fake special to me. And even now after its buffs, it's still terrible. Whatever though, that's the end of the tier list. To be completely honest, the lower down you go on the tier list, the less I really care about your placement. It's why I didn't really talk much about these lower tier characters. They're just not interesting to me. Like I always say, if a character is interesting, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be good too. And these characters, Mahito, Hikari, Yuji, Naoya, Todo, they're just not even interesting. Unless it's a video dedicated to talking about their issues, I just don't have much to say about them, which is why I might have felt like I raced through this lower tier. Well, whatever. That's the end of the video. Let me know what you think of the tier list and if you disagree or agree. I'll see y'all in the next one.